The Laughing Chorus. The grand arena of the Convergence gleamed with alien splendor, a lattice of orbiting platforms above the gas giant core. Warships of every design and philosophy drifted through space like stars on parade. Sleek Varnathi needle cruisers, humming Sazek bioships with pulsing organic hulls, and shimmering Volari mirror vessels that bent light itself. In the midst of this fleet, something stirred, a dull shadow creeping among comets. It was not elegant. It was not graceful. It was indomitable. The human warship emerged slowly, belching controlled jets of ion thrust propulsion. Its hull was matte black, dented in places, scarred in others. No energy shields shimmered around it. No gravitational slipstream trailed behind. It moved like a fortress torn from Earth's crust and thrown into orbit, a monument to mass, armor, and defiance. The alien commanders fell silent for a moment. Then the laughter began. Primitive propulsion, chortled grand strategist Cavall of the Texari, his 8 mandibles clicking in mirth. It crawls like a child's toy. Do those cylinders along its side launch metal? Asked the crystalline Kaith ambassador. Kinetic weapons? Is this some kind of joke? Across the command link, bursts of amusement flickered from a dozen species. The humans, newest and least advanced members of the Galactic Convergence, had unveiled their pride. A massive, slow, antique warship. No one took it seriously. No one but Captain Rhea Mallory. Inside the command deck of Indomitable, the mood was starkly different. No laughter, no panic, just quiet focus. Mallory stood like a statue carved from iron, hands clasped behind her back. Her uniform was clean, but unadorned. She stared at the tactical display hovering in front of her, a rotating field of 3D icons, most of them labeled friendly, some hostile, all moving much faster than her own ship. Status? She asked. Nominal, Captain, her exo replied. Reactor stable. Rail batteries charged. Kinetic slugs loaded. Mallory nodded. They weren't here to win admiration. They were here to make a point. The Convergence War Games began with a blast of color, hyperfields igniting like solar flares. Cloaked ships vanished. Warp-jump frigates danced between simulated enemy lines. Laser fire dazzled in choreographed elegance, scored by the rhythmic pulses of graviton cannons and dark matter torpedoes. The Indomitable didn't move. It coasted along its trajectory, unhurried. Alien commanders watched in disbelief. It hasn't even changed heading. Their engines can't handle real combat speeds. Do they even know this is a simulation? The joke spread like wildfire. A Vesh captain released a satirical holovid, depicting Indomitable as an Earth Museum exhibit being tugged into battle by space cows. On board, the human crew monitored every transmission. No one responded. Captain Mallory watched in silence. Hours passed. Half the fleet had already died in the simulation. The Texari launched their infamous Nova Burst. The Kvaroans swarmed with automated drone clouds. The battlefield shifted rapidly, ships appearing and vanishing in pulses of light. The Indomitable remained. It floated toward the edge of the battle space, appearing lost, irrelevant, forgotten. That's when it fired. There was no fanfare, no flare of light, just a soft thunk. The slug left the magnetic barrel at 0.12 C, 12% the speed of light. Invisible, unstoppable. 30 seconds later, a shielded Volari outpost on the other side of the war zone vanished. Not exploded, ceased to exist. Its matter turned to plasma in an instant. A silence spread through the command frequencies. The outpost had been placed as a high-value, untouchable target, shielded with the latest Volari phase dampeners. Nothing in the simulation had been able to touch it. Nothing until now. That's impossible, someone whispered across the link. It didn't even lock on. There was no targeting beam. How did they... Captain Mallory's voice cut through the confusion, calm and cold. That was a warning shot. Suddenly, everyone was watching. Sensor arrays across the war zone focused on Indomitable. Telemetry was shared, analyzed, reanalyzed. Alien tacticians dove into the data. The results were chilling. The kinetic slug had not only bypassed the shield, It had undermined it, vibrating at a frequency tuned perfectly to the Volari phase dampener's oscillation. The humans had somehow learned the shield's signature and engineered a round to disrupt it, all without contact. Alien commanders grew quiet. The joke had ended. Back aboard Indomitable, Lieutenant Saren grinned as he shut down the firing console. Bet they didn't expect that, Captain. Mallory didn't smile. She rarely did. No, she said softly. They expected another Earth, primitive, naive, begging for favors. What they didn't expect was 400 years of war compressed into a single doctrine. She turned to the comms officer. Transmit the log to Earth Defense Command. Mark it victory pending. Far above the galactic spectacle, on the observation decks of neutral ships, ambassadors and warlords convened. They whispered about this new player. They debated humanity's strategy. One word spread, one word that changed in tone from ridicule to dread. Indomitable. No longer a joke. Now a threat. A slow, creeping nightmare. Too patient to notice, too precise to stop. And it was just one ship. The silence that followed. The war games were over. Officially, there was no winner. The Convergence always insisted the exercises were non-competitive. A demonstration of unity. A celebration of interspecies cooperation. Unofficially, there was only one victor. The humans. Specifically, Indomitable. Its single, unassuming shot had shattered decades of strategic assumptions, humiliated several of the oldest species in the galaxy, and upended the Convergence's military hierarchy. And now, the galaxy waited. Waited for a statement. Waited for an explanation. Waited and received nothing. Not from Earth. Not from Captain Rhea Mallory. Not from Indomitable. Only silence. On the third day, the Varnathi delegation submitted a formal demand to the Convergence High Council, an immediate investigation into the human kinetic weapon. They accused Earth of violating tech-sharing protocols, possibly developing pre-war level destructive systems. The humans responded politely with a single line. No Convergence law prohibits superior material science. It wasn't an explanation. It was a challenge. In the depths of Convergence space, aboard the Orbital Research Station Tlaska, a panel of 11 alien scientists pored over the firing data. It defied shielding, said the Volari technician, her mirrored skin flickering in stress. Our phase dampeners should have repelled anything below a Class 7 graviton shell. The Sazek xenophysicist clicked softly in reply. The humans used a monolithic tungsten core with adaptive resonant plating, something we've theorized but never managed to manufacture. It didn't penetrate the shield. It harmonized with it, disabling it for precisely 0.017 seconds. The Texari analyst hissed. We have warp drives. Singularity bombs. How'd they get this past us? The chamber went quiet. They had all underestimated humanity. They thought the slow ship meant a slow mind. They thought crude meant backwards. They had made a mistake. 3 weeks later, the galaxy watched again. This time, it wasn't a simulation. A rogue Kvaruan splinter fleet, 8 ships, radicalized and angry, approached Earth colony at Proxima B. They declared the humans unfit for Convergence membership, accused them of warmongering, and opened fire on orbital facilities. They expected panic. Instead, they got Indomitable. The warship had already been rerouted to Proxima in anticipation. It arrived via brute force trajectory, a 3-month burn through real space because it couldn't warp. Because Earth had no FTL vessels. At least, not yet. The Kvaruan laughed when they saw it. The slow ship again. They stopped laughing 32 seconds after battle commenced. The first Kvaruan destroyer vanished. Not destroyed, unmade. The slug that hit it didn't detonate. It transferred kinetic energy so violently that the ship crumpled like foil. Sensors didn't register an explosion. They just saw a gap where the destroyer had been. The second ship tried to dodge. It didn't help. The targeting system on Indomitable was predictive, AI-guided, and based on human warfare algorithms honed through centuries of conflict. It didn't aim where you were. It didn't aim where you would be. It aimed where you had no choice but to be. In under 2 minutes, 6 ships were gone. The last 2 tried to flee. The humans didn't pursue. They didn't need to. A warning slug passed between the fleeing ships at 0.05 C. The shockwave alone cracked their outer hulls and disabled engines. The human ship didn't fire again. It didn't need to. That, more than the kills, terrified the galaxy. The humans had perfected the art of restraint. In the aftermath, the High Council met again. This time, the laughter was gone. Representatives of the Kvaroan Dominion sat in silence, their delegation smaller than before. The Valari kept to shadows. The Texari offered a rare statement of respect. And then Captain Rhea Mallory appeared. Not in person, not in real time. A simple transmission. Her image flickered on in the council hall. Uniform crisp, voice measured. We did not ask for this war, nor did we seek to impress you. Earth has survived centuries of internal conflict, resource collapse, and extinction events. When we went to the stars, we did so slowly. Not because we lacked ambition, but because we understood cost. We build slow ships. Not because we are weak, but because we don't intend to chase you. We intend to outlast you. The room was dead silent. She continued, Indomitable is the first of 12. Each is under construction now. Each will be better than the last. We will not strike first. But understand this. If war comes, we won't race you. We'll wait. And when you stop to breathe, we'll still be there. The transmission ended. In the following weeks, military treaties were quietly revised. The Convergence reclassified kinetic weaponry as a strategic asset. Human material science became a hot research topic across half the galaxy. Earth was offered 2 seats on the High Council. Captain Mallory declined one. Aboard Indomitable, Mallory stood alone on the observation deck. Through the reinforced glass, she watched the stars slide slowly past. No warp, no jump, just momentum. She preferred it that way. One of the younger officers approached. Captain, permission to speak freely? She nodded. They're scared of us now. She looked at him. They always were. They just didn't know it yet. Do you think they'll come again? She turned back to the stars. Yes, she said. But next time, they won't come laughing.